Hello, friends, and happy Friday. So we're going to do a little bit, some different stuff today. Didn't have a guest lined up. I do have someone lined up for next week's show, but I thought I was going to make a video about ChatGPT, and so I did a little conversation, a little shoot the breeze session with ChatGPT a couple of weeks ago. And then I thought, you know what? Let's just use that for a live stream. I know some of you may not be familiar with it yet. I don't know that I can say I understand all that it can do yet. I have used it a couple of times. In fact, last winter, so when I had my 12 Days of Christmas event on the channel, I had a couple of TV episodes. I think that's where I used it. And I went to ChatGPT and asked it to write a synopsis for, season whatever, episode whatever of whatever the show was. And it was pretty neat. I might have used it a time or two for something else. I think I've used it a couple of times to come up with a title for a video here and there, because you can ask it to write a catchy title or a clever title. So today we're just going to kind of play with ChatGPT. Before we do that, I'm going to do channel stats, and then I wanted to share something I got from Amazon about a new service for Amazon Prime members. If you're not an Amazon Prime member, obviously a lot of perks. I had it initially because you get like 2 days shipping at least. If not overnight, you get 2 days free shipping on most things. And I do order a lot from Amazon because the prices for some of the things we order for the animals is significantly better than going to the pet store or Walmart even. But they have a new service for Prime members. Oh, and that's the only streaming. Well, we have Pluto TV. That's a free thing. And we do pay. Richard pays for the Paramount Plus. It used to be the CBS All Access. Because we like Big Brother and Amazing Race and some of those reality shows. And that way we can watch those live, because you can watch live TV for CBS on it. And then old shows, I Love Lucy, Perry Mason, some of the old classic stuff that we both enjoy. And that's like $5 a month to do the streaming service for that. Anyway, so Amazon, we're going to talk about that after we go over channel stats. And let me pull up that spreadsheet. I'll share my screen. Every Friday, it's like this is the first time I've ever done this, right? Here we go. Hey, Devin, how are you? Thanks for being here today. All right, let's just make that big. All right, and starting off with channel members of the channel, Nina and Boyce, Texas neighbors of ours. Hello, P-Hop. Thanks for being here today. They are holding on to 885 subscribers today. Ordered Steps also holding on to her 1,320-something subscribers. Akashi Chris, my friend at Mindfork, is at 469 subscribers today. My friend Byron, a Texas neighbor of ours, is holding on to his 1,690-something. I know I've told you before, but if you're new to the channel, both Akashi Chris and Byron at 12 Stones Ranch have been here to RichKatRanch. We've had a meal together. They've met all the animals and fed some of the animals. And have become real life friends of ours, and I just marvel over what YouTube has to offer on the good side of things. My friend Joe Hupp in Australia is holding on to his 319 subscribers. Our friends Jesse and Lisa, Texas neighbors down near Houston at Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa, are at 1,490 something today. So if you haven't checked out their channel yet, let's make sure we can see 1,500 plus when we do next week's stream. Jerry and Susan at Butler Family Farm, they are at 1,780 something subscribers today. I'm trying to figure out what I'm hearing. I think I may have just heard a dog like scratching or something. So Butler Family Farm, 1,780 something. So check out that jump. That's a nice healthy jump for 1 week of growth. My friend Gary at Belt Loop 29 is holding on to his 2,410 subscribers. My friend David Hunt is at 587 today. My friend Mark at Corner Clubhouse Cobalt is at 1,240 something. Our friends Brian and Shirley at Just Doing Our Best are at 1,580 something. My friend Drunken Chef Barbecue. I promise I'm not under the influence of something, but I had a hard time saying that, didn't I? Is down to 1,300. I know there was an issue with he had a live stream, and I think he had Little Chef on there, and YouTube shut it down because it had a child on it. I think that's why, if I understand correctly. That's been several weeks ago, but I'm wondering if that had an impact on the channel somehow. I would hope not, because that was silly anyway. But if it's going to have a detrimental effect to channel growth and number of subscribers, in addition to just being silly, that bugs me. But he's at 1,300 still. That's a nice number. Previous guests on the show, my friend Lee from the UK is holding on to 1,230 something subscribers. My friend Adam Sky, also from the UK, is at 327 today. Jeff and Lorena, some Texas neighbors of ours at Back to Country Homestead, are at 779. My friend Amanda at Bare Bones Living is at 734. Bearded Eagle is at 1,290. So just like Jesse and Lisa, if you guys haven't checked out the channel or you haven't subscribed yet to Bearded Eagle, let's see if we can't see a number higher than 1,300 when we do the stats next week. So go check him out. My friend Ashley at CNC Farm is at 1,990. Here's another opportunity so she can hit that 2,000 mark. And I know she had a note on her channel a week or two ago that she needs watch hours. So go and run a playlist for her. She has just been so consistent and so faithful in producing wonderful content for her viewers. She's a wonderful person. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with her here on the show, and I'd love to see that number up by at least 10 next week as well. Canadian Family Life, Tiffany is at 1,440 something today. That's a nice little jump too for just a week. My friend Heather at Come Hither with Heather is at 1,030 something today. My friend Danielle at Danny Days Ahead is at 1,090. My friend Dawn Ray B is at 530. Brittany and Big K at Flannel Hill Farm are at 263. Jen and Steve at Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve are holding on to their 1,000 subscribers. I know she just put out a video a couple of hours ago about making your own mayonnaise, which I need to check out. So I encourage you to go and check out their channel and show them some love and support. Hi, Nancy at Our Treasured Home. Thanks for being here today. My friend John at Home Bartending with John is at 400 subscribers today. My friend Peter Tragos at Lawyer You Know is at 259,000 subscribers today. Yes, you heard that right. 259,000. That's just a fantasy for most of us, isn't it? Hi, Lee. How are you? Thank you for being here. My friend Katie at Mayfield Ranch is at 1,170 something subscribers today. Paul at Millionaire Paul, the Millionaire Challenge. Another friend of mine from the UK is at 287 today. Tammy at Mountain Grandma is at 860. Tiffany at Mud and Mascara Homestead is at 513. My friend Nick and his family, Texas neighbors of ours at Multi Hunter 24/7, are at 1,040 something subscribers today. My friend Ginger at Not For Nothing Homestead is holding on to her 1,020 something subscribers today. Hello, Jen at Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. I just shouted out your mayo video. I need to check that out myself. Where was I? So Ginger's holding on to 1,020. Ryan and Devin at Our New Land, Texas Neighbors of Ours. I'm guessing you're still here. I don't guess you're living up there yet. Great channel. Amazing growth happening here still. I'm encouraged. I'm excited. I'm honored to be a little part of their journey. They were great guests on the show, and you guys have got to go and check them out. They are at 4,690 something subscribers today. Nancy at Our Treasured Home, who is in the chat today, is at 1,100, between 1,100 and 1,109 today. My friend Marin at Palma Pioneer Pantry is at 299. No activity on the channel in several months now, and I've yet to hear back from her. I did send an email to see how things were going, make sure everything is okay. And I haven't heard back from her. It just may mean that this season is not a YouTube season for her. I know she has a little one, and that just means she's busy all the time on top of anything she might have been doing for YouTube. But I'll keep you posted on when I hear back from her. My friend Steven, Texas Neighbors, probably the closest ones. He's down in Arlington. That's about an hour and 10 minutes or so from here. At Pawpaw's Kitchen is holding on to 330 subscribers. This is another content creator that has not produced any content in a few months. I did send an email to reach out from him, and I haven't heard back. So I'll keep you posted. Of course, the mom in me and the overfunctioner in me worries when I don't see videos for a while, and it's people that I've met, even if it's just because they were guests on the show. I start to worry after a while. I know life happens, and I know sometimes bad things happen, and I always feel better when at least I get a little note back saying I'm just taking a little break, or maybe there's a health issue or some family issue, but I at least like to know they're okay. So I'll keep you posted on those. My friend Shane at Paralife TV, your everyday wheelchair ninja, 1,990. So again, an opportunity for you guys to make some things happen. I'd love to come back with a 2,000 number next Friday for him. A great channel, great source of inspiration and motivation there, and just an all-around great guy. Pedroza Travel, John Pedroza in California is at 1,100 something. So again, 1,100 to 1,109. I think he was recently in Alaska. So he's just got a great opportunity for you to go and virtually travel the world from your living room or wherever it is you watch videos. So check him out. My friend Vicki Lund at Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund is holding on to her 1,040 something subscribers. Wes and Jess at Rich New Design are at 507. Ronnie and Brittany at Ronnie and Brittany RB Story in California are at 730. My friend David at Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion, goes without saying, he is a Texas neighbor of ours, is at 2,690 today. My friend Shannon at Shanster Travels is at 655. I think she too maybe is on or just completed an Alaska trip. So check that out. 655 subscribers for her today. My friend Sparrow Spalding is at 1,420. Not a lot of new content on her channel for a while. I know she made a trip, so I think she's been out of town. We did text earlier this week. She texted to check on me, and we'll catch up at some point with each other in our lives outside of YouTube, but hopefully we will see some new content from her soon. Kenny and Debbie at the Adventures of Kenny and Debbie are at 748 today. Angela, my friend Angela at the Inquisitive Farm Wife is at 1,850. My friend Dino at the Late Late Horror Show is holding on to his 112 something thousand subscribers. And my friend Tom Salta, again, real life friend I've known through Geezer Gamers since Xbox Live became a thing back in 2005. He hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to all of you who have shown him some support so that could happen. His content sometimes is a little more technical than maybe a lot of people would need, but he's a great guy. We had a great time when he had the interview, when I had my interview with him, and if you guys were here that day, you remember I had some goofy sound issues, and I had to drop out of the stream for a while even, and Tom just took over and managed the show, managed the chat, and entertained us all very graciously and very, wonderfully. So I'd love it if you haven't checked him out, for you to go and check him out. If you're a gamer, he writes music that's not just for gaming, but he is a world-renowned, award-winning, incredibly talented music writer, and his primary focus is video games. So a lot of you, even if you're not gamers, will likely have heard some of the themes. I mean, he's written big game franchises. The Halo, he's been involved in Halo stuff. You guys know I'm a recovering Halo junkie. I think, oh my gosh, what is it? GRAW, the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. I know that's the first GRAW game that I had. That theme is beautiful. It's amazing. And my jaw just drops a lot when I hear the stuff that he's written. So check him out. Go show him a little love and support. Let me find my place. Oops. Find my place again. Two Doves, Bees, and Gardens. John and Sarah are at 1,680 something today. The Vineyard Chicks are holding on to their 4,590 something subscribers today. My friend Ralph at Webb's Web is also, they're at 4,590. Webb's Web, Ralph is at 1,040 something still today. My friend Robin at What the Flock is at 564. Steve Robson at Wild Macro Art is still at 24. And Fat Ninja DM, the late Fat Ninja DM, is at 431. And Lee's channel, but it's just funny how through no effort on our part, I don't think it really has anything to do with what we're doing. I'm finding that there's just sort of a weird roller coaster thing that happens. And I kind of imagine that it must be that YouTube every now and then must just have some sort of randomized promotion thing. Like it just goes down its list and it'll put a couple of your videos on the recommended page. Even if it's not a new video, even if it's not a video on your channel that maybe had a lot of engagement or a lot of views, that's got to be part of it, because every now and then I'll see a spike in a video on my channel from like 2 years ago that I haven't talked about. It's not necessarily related to another video. Like it wouldn't necessarily be a video that I had a tab for on my end screen or anything. And yet I'll look and there's this big batch of views for it in the last 48 hours. So I just think there's, again, some weird algorithm thing. I think that word algorithm is just, I don't really think it stands for anything. I think algorithm means luck of the draw. Some days people see your channel and some days people don't. And we're going to call that algorithm. Anyway, so hang in there, Lee. Hang in there, Lee. The day is coming. But if you guys have not checked out Lee at First Floor Audio, please go and check him out. Go and hang out with him. He has wonderful live streams. He has a wonderful, warm, friendly, genuine group of followers and chatters that you can visit with. And it's always a good time there. So check him out. Let's get a higher number in that column for him by next Friday. Let's see, let me make sure. Hey, Kevin at Tuber Chat, how are you? And this is not Tuber Chat related necessarily, but on Kevin's channel, I've only been able to be at a couple of these game nights. I love that kind of stuff. It's trivia, my wheelhouse. I don't even have a favorite category, I don't think. Now, the only problem for me has been that I do have to always get up at some point, because it happens in the evenings. I have to get up at some point and go pen up the outside animals. So I have to drop out of a round or two. But it's great fun. The people there are great fun. The questions, I think everyone that's been there so far can tell you they've learned something every stream, every round. One of us learned something. One of us or more learned something that we didn't know. So I have to guess half the time. But it's fun, and it's a nice way to spend some good time with good people. So you'll have to check out, I'll have to find your channel link, Kevin. Let me find Kevin's channel link. Give me 1 second here. And then you guys be watching for these game streams. All right, here comes Kevin's link. I'll put this in the chat, and hopefully I can be at the next game night and you guys can join me there. I see that there is the next game night scheduled for Monday the 7th. So let me get that link for you guys as well. Bear with me. Hey, so I didn't know that, Lee. What do you play on Xbox? There's my gamer tag. Anybody else out there that plays Xbox games? Not that I have a whole lot of time to spend on it. Again, I'm a recovering Halo junkie. And that's still my game of choice. But it's kind of hard to have much time, to just sit and enjoy a game because I'm often called away, so to speak, by something that the dogs need or the cats, or I got to go out and, change. This time of year, I have to go out and change the ice bottles, the bottles of frozen water that I put in the duck buckets because it's just so stinking hot here. But late at night, that used to be my favorite time to game. It's still my favorite time to game, but a lot of times that's also the time that I need to be editing videos or doing something for the channel because everyone's asleep and I can have a lot of uninterrupted time. But, and I'll tell you about this stuff. This is from Costco, jasmine green tea, unsweetened. It gives me my little bit of caffeine fix that I need so I don't get withdrawal headaches. And it does have that hint of a jasmine-y flavor to it, so it's a nice, refreshing drink. And, I think we got a case of that like a month ago, and I've still got a couple of bottles left, so I don't drink it real fast. Hey, Bill at Warm Strong Adventures, thank you for being here today. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone else. All right. If I missed you, I apologize. I know sometimes people may come in and leave before I even saw them, but thanks also to anyone who might be watching this as part of the rewatch crew. If you missed the live stream, you are just as appreciated as the people that I get to actually visit with live during the chat. Let me get back to my comments. All right, so let's close this. Let me close my subscriber stats spreadsheet. And then I wanted to share with you before we get into this ChatGPT thing. I hope you guys are as excited about this as I am, because I'll tell you one of my favorite things. My son Gerald, one of our favorite things to do together has always been to just talk about random stuff. Like, one of us or both of us may have heard some kind of news story, or we may have read some book, and then when we're together, the ball starts rolling, the conversation starts, and one of us will say something along the lines of, "Did you hear that news report about blah, blah, blah?" Or, "Have you ever read that book, blah, blah, blah?" And then we start talking, and nothing is off limits. We talk about conspiracy theories. We talk about science stuff and gaming stuff and recipes and weird stories in the news and, diseases and viruses and health problems and stuff. It's just talking for the sake of talking. It's one of my favorite things to do. If you guys didn't know that about me, I like to talk. I like to talk when I feel like I'm talking with someone. Chatting here in the stream is about as close as you can get, obviously, online, but real life, sitting on the couch together talking with someone is great. So this ChatGPT thing is like a substitute for that. You really can just get in and bring up a topic and learn something and ask more questions about it. It doesn't ask questions of the person, you know, doing the typing, but it's still fun. I still like it. And so I'll show you some of what happened when I did my little uh, session with it a couple of weeks ago. But before I do that, I don't know how many of you are Amazon Prime members. Again, I'm an Amazon Prime member because you get the free shipping. There's Amazon Prime, lots of stuff to watch on Amazon Prime Video. And now, so I got an email. I just checked it out this morning, finally. I got the email probably a week ago. Let me share this screen. Amazon Prime now offers Amazon Clinic. So, let me see if I think I read when I said it. Okay. Quickly treat common conditions with 24/7 video visits and messaging with a clinician. Upfront pricing, no appointments, and no insurance needed. So I haven't needed it yet, but you get into, it covers everything. It covers everything. And it's like, the nurse line that a lot of insurance plans have. That's what it sounds like anyway. Again, I haven't had to use it, but it sounds like it's one of those nurse lines where you can just call anytime. You can talk to a nurse. They can at least give you some advice. I'm sure sometimes the advice is you need to see your doctor. And I'm sure that's how this would work as well. But just looking at these options here, let me make this bigger. And you can see some of the things it covers. So I kind of hope I'll never need it. But I thought, wow, now that's thinking outside the box. Way to go, Amazon. Way to go, Amazon. So first time I try it out, I'll let you know how it goes. Knock on wood, I don't get sick. And aside from, bumps and bruises or scrapes or something from just dealing with building something or working with the animals, or I don't get hurt. Off and on, my back will bother me if I overdid something or lifted something wrong or something too heavy or just overdid it. Oh, I said overdid it, didn't I? So I don't know how much I'll need it. You don't have to pay. It's just included with your Amazon Prime membership. So I just think that's really neat. If you're not an Amazon Prime member, that could be another perk to motivate you to give it a try. I'm still watching lots of movies during the day because it's too hot to be outside. The dogs and I go out in the mornings. I usually get up around 7:30 if they let me sleep that late. And we go outside, weather permitting. So we haven't had any rain in at least 3 weeks now. And then when I say weather permitting, that's what I usually mean. If it's not raining or storming, then we're outside. But it is just so hot during the day that I don't want to take a chance on letting them outside to do more than just use the bathroom, because they'll start playing and they're running and they don't know when enough is enough. And I sometimes, even after just a couple of minutes, they're just so overheated and panting so hard, and we got to get back in the house. So we go out. I used to feed them breakfast around 7:30. Now we go outside and play from 7:30 to about 8:45 or 9 o'clock. And then when I see them starting to get kind of tired and finding a spot to just lay down and, rest a minute, then we come in and cool off for a little while. Then they eat, because I like to keep them still for an hour and a half or so after they eat. I don't know if every dog is prone to some of the issues that German Shepherd dogs are, but German Shepherd dogs are very prone to bloat, which is a twisting up of the intestines, and that can be triggered by vigorous activity right after eating or too soon after eating. So I don't take chances with that, and it's just so hot. So they have their breakfast 9 o'clock ish, and then they just lay around the house for an hour and a half or so. Then they get to go out and just do a potty break, but then we don't go back outside to play until the sun starts going down and it's not such a scorching experience. But that means I'm in the house too. So I've been watching a lot of movies. I watched a really fun movie called Project Almanac. I think it's probably back from like 2016 or so, 14. And it's these high school kids, and the one boy, the lead boy in the movie, finds these blueprints for a time machine that his dad had been building before his dad passed away 10 years prior. So they build a time machine. So that's right up my alley, y'all. And then they learn the hard way that you can't go back in time and change certain things, because then everything in the present is different, or something bad happens. So this boy has to keep going back to different points and undo the changes, that were made. Anyway, it's just kind of a neat premise, and the acting was good. All the kids were really sweet and cute. I say kids, I think they were playing high school kids, but in real life, these people at the time were, like from early 20s to early 30s. I know that's not unusual, but they were kids. Anyway, so that's been probably the favorite movie I've watched in the last week or so. Big Brother just started again. We didn't see the Wednesday night episode, and I didn't see last night's episode, but that's kind of a fun binge thing. We didn't watch it all last year. We were huge fans, and I don't remember what might have been different about last year, but I don't even know what happened or who won last year, but I might start watching that again just for something different to do, because now that a couple of episodes have happened, you can watch on demand, so I can go back and watch when I miss it live. Okay, so ChatGPT, let me know if you did you guys see the poll I had in the chat? Did any of you get here early enough to do that poll? Let me put that poll back up. Oh, except that I would have to open a... No, I won't put the poll back up. Just let me know in the chat if you have ever used ChatGPT. And let me put up some info on what ChatGPT means. All right. Here we go. ChatGPT is an AI chatbot created by OpenAI. It was trained on a massive data set of text to generate human-like responses to prompts. ChatGPT was released in November 2022. Yeah, first time I used it again was for the my Christmas project. Hey, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. That's awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so Kevin has been experimenting with ChatGPT for video descriptions and social media marketing. Yeah, there really is a lot that you can do with it. I guess, out of the loop, or just not knowledgeable enough to understand why there's this underlying concern on some people's parts about the dangers of ChatGPT. I think it may depend on what you're doing with it. So again, we're going to talk about some of the things you can do with it. Lee did answer the poll, and he said no, doesn't like the idea of AI. Yeah, it's a catch-22, I think, but I think it's happening, and it's probably been happening for longer than we even realize. This is just a new manifestation of it, where just regular people off the street can get in and interact with it and create things using its help. And that's exciting to me. And so, again, maybe I'm naive, or maybe I just don't understand enough about AI. So I don't know where the danger comes yet. I don't know what to be worried about, if I should be worried. Okay, so yeah, we'll all take this oath. I promise to always use my powers for good and never evil, even with AI. So if we all ascribe to that philosophy, then I think we'll be okay. So here's the first little blurb about what ChatGPT is. It uses deep learning to generate human-like text based on prompts from users, predicting the next word in a given text based on patterns it's learned from massive amounts of data during its training. What does GPT stand for in ChatGPT? GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now you may ask, what does that mean? A GPT, a Generative Pre-trained Transformer, is a language model that has been trained on a vast data set of text to generate human-like text. So a lot of that, and I just copied all of that from the About ChatGPT. I think I found an About ChatGPT page. And so now I'm going to pull up, I just got to find it. Okay, I think it's where, oh, I just have to open another one of these windows. Hang on. And I'm going to pull up the session that I recorded with ChatGPT. Let me show you first. So when I signed in today to use it, I don't remember seeing this notice the last however many times I've used it. But let me show you. This says, can y'all see that? And let me see, I'm missing something in the chat. Hey, Bud Files, how are you? Thanks for being here. So this says our goal is to get external feedback in order to improve our systems and make them safer. While we have safeguards in place, the system may occasionally generate incorrect or misleading information and produce offensive or biased content. It is not intended to give advice. Conversations may be reviewed by our AI trainers to improve our systems. Please don't share any sensitive information in your conversations. We'd love your feedback. This system is optimized for dialogue. Let us know if a particular response was good or unhelpful. Share your feedback on our new Discord server. Okay, so that's that for what it looked like today when I signed in. But now let me show you the session, the little, again, shoot the breeze session I had that reminded me of when Gerald and I would, okay, where is that? Here we go. Oops. Well, how do I pull that up? Hang on. I have the video. I recorded it here at StreamYard. Okay, yeah, y'all can see that. And let me make sure you can still hear me. So this was, there we go. Here was the little mini session. I think this was back on like the 17th of July. And I'll get, you'll see me sign in. And then I'll go through some of the questions that I asked it. And then I'll skip ahead a little bit just so you can see me interacting with it beyond just asking questions. Here's the first question that I asked it. Is there proof of extraterrestrial life? This was before those hearings. You know, there was the UAP, UFO congressional hearings that happened earlier this week. This says, as of my last update in September 2021, oops, there is no direct definitive proof of extraterrestrial life. However, it's important to note that the search for extraterrestrial life is ongoing, and many scientists and researchers believe that the vastness of the universe makes it highly likely that life exists beyond Earth. And so it goes on to list some of the factors that may be at play in whether or not there is extraterrestrial life. Number one, the existence of exoplanets. The discovery of thousands of exoplanets, which are planets orbiting stars outside our solar system, suggests that planets are common in the universe, and some of them are located in the habitable zone where conditions might be suitable for life. Number two, extremophiles. Life on Earth has been found in extreme environments that were previously thought to be inhospitable, such as deep sea hypothermal vents or acidic hot springs. This has led to the speculation that life might exist in similarly extreme conditions on other planets or moons. Number three, organic molecules. Organic molecules, the building blocks of life, have been detected in Mars and other celestial bodies, raising the question of whether life might have existed or could still exist in these locations. Number four, unexplained phenomena. Various unexplained phenomena. Unexplained aerial phenomena. That's what UAP stands for. Or unidentified flying objects, UFOs. That's what we're most familiar with probably. Have been reported, but none have been scientifically confirmed as extraterrestrial in origin. The existence of these phenomena remains a subject of speculation and investigation. Despite these intriguing findings, no concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life has been presented to date. The search for extraterrestrial life continues through missions like the Mars rover, space telescopes, and future missions to explore the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, such as Europa and Enceladus. The scientific community remains open to the possibility and actively investigates the potential existence for life beyond Earth. All right. So that was my first question. And there wasn't really a rhyme or reason to what I asked. I was sitting here and I thought, oh, what can I ask it? Just to see what it would say. Let's see. I wonder why people would rather talk to a bot than an actual human. Oh, I'd really rather have an actual human here. But all I have is the dogs. That's all I have is the dogs. And Richard's not a talker, so we don't have those shoot the breeze conversations like Gerald and I have. Yeah, again, I'm thinking, Lee, this really could be helpful for, like, if you're studying or you're writing a paper or you're making a video and you need some facts. Maybe you're going to cover an event or something about an animal or a place, and you could go here and use it like an encyclopedia. That's how I look at it. So this first question kind of would tell you. I mean, I've always been interested in UFOs and space stuff and aliens, and so I thought, okay, that seems kind of out there though. So I'm going to ask it that. I'm going to see if it can deal with out there stuff. So I wasn't expecting it to even give me that much information. I thought it might just say something like, based on research, the odds are good that there's extraterrestrial life, or based on the lack of evidence, the odds are not good. I thought it would just be some super short thing. I didn't think it was going to be that detailed in what it gave me. So, oh no, that's the whole purpose of today's show. I want to know what you guys think of it. You guys sound off. Let me know what you think. But let's go on. I did go on to ask it some more questions. My next question was, I asked it to write a poem about a cat eating food with its paws. I really, really wanted to test what this thing can do. And here's the poem. In the realm of feline grace, a sight to behold, a cat with paws of dexterity its tail unfolds, a mesmerizing dance of culinary art as it savors each morsel, a meal to impart. With whiskers aloft and eyes gleaming bright, this elegant creature, both regal and light, takes hold of the feast with velvet paws. In a pas de deux, no hunger withdraws. With precision and flair, each morsel it takes. Between furry digits, a ballet it makes. Graceful gestures in rhythm and rhyme, a culinary masterpiece stood the test of time. The food dances and pirouettes through the air, an enchanting spectacle beyond compare. And as the flavors blend on its tender tongue, the cat purrs in delight, its song is sung. In this delicate ritual, nature's design, the cat's artistry so wondrously divine, as it savors each bite, a culinary delight, with its paws as brushes painting the night. So watch with awe as this cat does dine, a masterpiece unfolding so beautifully fine. For in the elegant feast, an ode to adore, a cat's culinary ballet forevermore. Oh, so that's kind of different, and it got me to thinking about, again, people who write or create, that it could at least give you an idea, or plant some seeds, or kind of trigger something in your brain, so that even if you don't really use exactly what it produced here, then it might make you think of something. That's how I'm looking at it. Because what I don't know is like copyright. So let's say you asked it to write a poem, and then let's say you used that poem and you published it. Is it your poem? What if another person asked the same exact question at the same time, or even at a different time? Would it write that same poem, and then that person wouldn't know that someone else already had that poem written? You get where I'm going with that? So I do have some questions about that. I don't know. Oops, take that off. I don't know. Again, I'm just learning about this. It's just this whole concept is really interesting and intriguing to me, but I don't know enough to know if it's like potentially dangerous or what the downside is of it. And nothing that I ask today, like it's not earth shattering. Like I wouldn't. Uh, Nobody would get hurt if they used whatever it put on here. Yeah, it's just a tool, just a little, like maybe if you were a painter and you couldn't think of what to paint, so you went and looked at a bunch of paintings, and then you thought, oh yes, I want to paint a landscape. Just because you happen to have seen some landscapes that inspired you, I would like to think that that's what this can be. But again, it was just also fun, and I learned some things as I was typing. Again, that whole thing about the extraterrestrial life. I mean, I knew about exoplanets and extremophiles, so maybe it wasn't new, but I wouldn't have maybe combined those to support an argument for or against aliens. Um, okay, so let me see what the next thing was that came up. The next thing was, okay, so I asked it to write a synopsis of The Lord of the Rings in less than 500 words. And then it's interesting what will happen. I won't read all of this to you because this was really long and detailed. But if you guys can see it, I don't know if this is big enough on your screens to see it or not. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, in case y'all didn't know that about me too. I know Kevin was talking in this week's game night about having a friend talk him into going to the marathon of the Lord of the Rings movies. It was like and so I went on the opening night of, oh, hang on, I skipped that. So I told it to write it in less than 500 words. And I realized right away, as it kept writing and writing and writing and writing, that was more than 500 words. So I asked it, was that less than 500 words? And it says, apologies, it seems my previous response exceeded the 500-word limit. Here's a shorter synopsis. And then it condensed all of that down into a shorter version. So I just kind of thought that was just kind of fun to me, that I called it out on not doing what I asked it to do. So it went back and did it. And I'm thinking, is that part of its learning? That, did it like miss out? Did it overlook? It was focused on the write a synopsis of the Lord of the Rings, and it just overlooked, if that's a term that you can use for a computer, the less than 500 words part. But then it processed what I wanted when I went back and asked if that was less than 500 words. So I thought that was kind of neat. But what I was going to tell you is that Kevin was talking about having gone to the back-to-back marathon of the Lord of the Rings movies. So on the premiere night of Return of the King, again, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, I had tickets for the event, the premiere event, which was going to be watching all three movies, with the final one being the premiere of the Return of the King, the final installment, so to speak. And it was the director's cuts, or the extended editions. Yeah, the extended editions. So each of the extended editions of the movie is like 3 hours, and 3 hours plus. New Line Cinema was there. There were prizes. I have all kinds of collectibles here that I won. They fed us lunch that day, and it was like a 11 and a half hour, 12-hour day when all was said and done, because there were little gaps between the movies. People could go to the bathroom or change their kids' diapers or whatever. And I thought it was the most amazing thing that ever happened. This is me who, back in 1977, my sister and I went to see Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. It's near the top of the list of my all-time favorite movies. It's not the number one movie, but it's in the top 3. And back in the day, you could sit in the theater and you didn't have to get up when the movie was over. You could just sit there still and just watch it again. So we sat through it like 4 times opening weekend, which was neat because each time we would catch something that we didn't notice the time before. Um, yeah, the very first, again, that's my favorite of all the Star Wars movies. Um, just partly because of when it was in my life and what the I mean, it was just there'd been nothing like it before that. It was just mind-boggling. And again, I've always been a big science nerd and a science fiction buff, and anything related to space and space travel and stuff has always interested me. Um, so to be able to sit and just watch all 3 of these Lord of the Rings movies, I thought it was awesome. But I can see where that would just seem like a really long day if you're not as into them as I am. Anyway, so that's the next thing I asked it. And then let's see what the next thing was that I asked it. Let me take that banner off. Okay, and then I thought this was an interesting question. And I guess this could be one of the dangers of AI. Although I'm sure there have been AIs doing lots of human jobs for a long time and we just don't know it yet. Okay, so there's my question. When will there be more AIs doing jobs than humans? And this chatbot goes into so much detail. It starts out, the timeline for when there will be more AI doing jobs than humans is uncertain and highly debated among experts. The potential impact of artificial intelligence and automation on the job market is a complex and multifaceted issue. While AI and automation are advancing rapidly, there are several factors that make it challenging to predict an exact time frame for when AI might surpass human labor in various sectors. Those include, I won't read all the details, I'll just read the headings here. AI development, job complexity, social and ethical considerations, policy and regulation, economic factors. And then it ends with, despite these uncertainties, it's essential to recognize that AI and automation are already affecting the job market, and some industries have seen significant changes due to AI adoption. Certain tasks that are repetitive, rules-based, or data-intensive have already been automated, leading to job displacement in some sectors. Experts and policymakers must carefully consider the implications of AI on the job market and work towards responsible AI deployment, reskilling and upskilling programs for workers, and creating new opportunities that leverage AI to augment human capabilities. The transition to a future where AI plays a more substantial role in the workforce requires thoughtful planning and consideration of societal impacts. So it sounds real good. And for that to be so detailed, it certainly makes me think that other people have asked similar questions, because this thing, this AI, this chatbot, bases its responses on information, the input. So stuff like Lee said, stuff that's already out there. It's not like creating new stuff. It's just compiling and consolidating information and data that relates to whatever it is you asked it to do or to tell you about. And so I would imagine that somewhere when this whole concept was being, developed, they were aware of the people that have concerns about AI in general and, it taking over, so to speak. So let's see. Let me see what my next question was. Okay, yeah. So here's the next one. I got real deep with it. This was a really neat answer too. This was really fun for me. Can y'all tell I really enjoyed myself? And I won't read all of it. Let me read what it starts out with. The question. Oops, put this on here. So I asked it, "What is the meaning of life?" The response: the question of the meaning of life has been pondered by philosophers, theologians, scientists, and individuals throughout human history. It is a deeply existential and philosophical question that does not have a single universally accepted answer. Different people and cultures have offered various interpretations and perspectives on the meaning of life, and it often depends on individual beliefs, values, and worldviews. And then let me just read you, without all the details, I'll post this that I'm showing you here. I'll just post this as a standalone video on the channel. Uh, I mean, I won't go to a lot of trouble. There won't be like text on the screen or anything. And that way, if you want, thanks, Nancy, for being here. Thanks for stopping in. Take care. Love to you and your family. Yeah, okay. Lee knows the answer to the meaning of life. 42. The answer is always 42. You guys will have to go to ChatGPT and ask what that means. So I'll post this as a video, just this video that I recorded so that I could show it here. I'll just post it. And that way, if you want to go back and read all these particulars that are with these, numbered bullet points. But it says here are some common perspectives on the meaning of life. 1, religious and spiritual beliefs. 2, pursuit of happiness and fulfillment. 3, connection and relationships. 4, contributing to society and humanity. 5, philosophical exploration. 6, evolutionary purpose. And then it says ultimately the meaning of life is a deeply personal and subjective matter. It can be influenced by individual experiences, cultural backgrounds, and personal beliefs. Different people may find meaning in different aspects of life or combine multiple perspectives to construct their understanding of life's purpose. As there's no definitive answer to the question, individuals are encouraged to explore their own beliefs, values, and experiences to find meaning and purpose in their lives. It can be a lifelong journey of self-discovery and introspection, and what one finds meaningful may evolve over time. Is that interesting or is that interesting? So let's see. I'm going to skip ahead. Some of the other questions I asked it, again, I'll skip ahead. I asked it to write an outline on living with German Shepherd dogs. Wow, did it deliver? It had like an 11-point outline and then a nice conclusion. So again, I read that and then I thought, okay, yeah, there's a video idea right there. This one was neat. I just got to find it here. Oh, I guess I could share that with y'all. I asked it, what is the meaning of your life? Let me put that up here. After I asked it about the meaning of life, I asked it, what is the meaning of your life? I didn't know if it would even understand my question because I was, obviously asking that directly. And it said, as an AI language model, I don't possess personal experiences, emotions, or consciousness, so I don't have a life in the traditional sense. My purpose is to assist users like you by providing helpful and informative responses to your questions and inquiries. I'm here to provide information, answer queries, and engage in conversations on a wide range of topics to the best of my abilities based on the data I've been trained on. While I don't have a personal meaning of life, or while I don't have a personal meaning or life purpose, I exist to be a useful tool in facilitating communication and sharing knowledge. My primary goal is to be of service to users and assist them in finding the information they seek or engaging in meaningful discussions. Well, so here's that outline. Check this out. I mean, look at all this. Look at all this. Okay, so here's the other one I wanted to share. Let's go back here. Approximately how many species have yet to be discovered on Earth? So if you didn't know, and this astounds me. I mean, it's 2023, and we have vehicles that can go deep in the ocean, and vehicles that can go high up in the sky and space, and there are very few parts of the world, at least my perception is that there are very few parts of the world that haven't been explored yet. And yet it seems like a couple times a year, some new species has been, why did that start again? Some new species has been discovered. And I wonder, how is that possible? So I just read today that a new species of, maybe it was a new species of wolf spider. I think it was a spider, but a new species of spider was discovered, like in California or something. And I thought, how is that possible? Like, they've been here. It's not like they just appeared. They've been here. People have seen others in their in their family, in their genus. And yet, just happenstance, somebody's in the right place at the right time and says, "Oh, wow, I've never seen one of those before." And I guess that person just happens to be a scientist or a whatever biologist or whatever. And then it gets put in the taxonomic code as a new species. How is that possible? So I thought, okay, let's see if this thing can tell me how many other species are out there that we don't know about yet. I mean, that seems like a weird question, the way to ask it, but I like the way it answered me. So I asked it approximately how many species have yet to be discovered on Earth. And it says to me, estimating the exact number of undiscovered species on Earth is challenging since new species are continuously being discovered, and many regions of our planet remain unexplored or poorly studied. However, scientists believe that there are still millions of species yet to be discovered. As of my last update in September 2021, and that's interesting to note. So anything more current than September 2021, I'm guessing this thing would not know. So if I asked it, I might have to play with that. If I asked it about the UAP UFO hearings, for example, that just happened this week, I wonder what it would say. I wonder if it would say, I don't have information on that. So I'll have to play with that. And if you missed it too, pinned comment. If you have a question you want me to ask it after I go through a few more of these from the session I had with it a couple of weeks ago, then we'll live ask it some questions while we're in the chat today. So if somebody's got something interesting or something they want to know, whether it's related to like your channel, something you want to do for your channel, or just something you've always wondered about, then we can have some fun, I think, asking it some questions live today. As of my last update, September 2021, experts estimate that there could be anywhere between 2 and 8 million total species on Earth, and we have only identified and described about 1.7 million of them. Yeah, so Lee is right, in the millions. The vast majority of undiscovered species are believed to be small organisms such as insects, microbes, and other invertebrates found in tropical rainforests, deep oceans, and other hard-to-reach and understudied areas. The process of discovering and cataloging new species is ongoing, and it involves extensive field work, taxonomic research, and genetic analysis. Advances in technology and exploration methods continue to aid scientists in uncovering new species, providing valuable insights into Earth's biodiversity. As more regions become accessible and research efforts continue, we can expect to discover and document many more species in the future. So, wow. I'm sure I could have gone to the library or used like an online encyclopedia. This just seems like it's a one-stop shop for anything you might have to go to several places for, just because you're curious or because you need information or... All right, so I'm going to skip ahead. Okay, this one was interesting to me. Let me find it. Take that. So my question, what is the record for the longest living creature? This was several, okay, here we go. This was several questions after that one you just saw. I mean, I spent like 45 minutes just typing in questions to see what it would say. So what's the record for the longest living creature? As of my last update, the longest living creature is held by the ocean quahog, Arctica islandica, a species of clam. These bivalve mollusks have been known to live for incredibly long periods, with some individuals reaching ages of over 500 years. One particularly famous ocean quahog specimen, known as Ming, was discovered off the coast of Iceland in 2006. Analysis of its growth rings revealed that Ming was estimated to be around 507 years old at the time of its death, making it one of the oldest known animals on Earth. It's essential to note that determining the exact age of long-lived creatures like the ocean quahog can be challenging, and individual specimens may vary in age. Nevertheless, the ocean quahog's ability to live for centuries has fascinated scientists and provided valuable insights into the biology of longevity in marine organisms. So, I'm going to pull up a picture of a quahog, because when I saw that thing, the oldest one that they've found so far, No worries, Lee. No worries, Lee. Because again, we'll have people hopefully watching in the rewatch crew. So I'm just going to share. If someone gets something out of it, that's great. If not, I'm still having a good time. So I wanted to share a picture of a quahog, because when I think of 507 years old, right away I'm thinking this giant, like it would just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. Not so. So let me find that. Here's a picture of the largest quahog. Oh, where did it go? I remember seeing that picture. Okay, yeah. Let's look at this. Share the screen. Oops. This was, I don't think this is the 507-year-old one. This was one in the U.S. that was discovered. That's a quahog. That clam he's holding. And I don't remember when I saw this picture, I don't remember if it said how old they estimated that one to be. But this 11-year-old boy found this quahog. And it's not right, wouldn't you think? Am I the only one that would think it would have been like gigantic after 507 years? I mean, that may not be a 500-year-old one. But I don't think they get that big. And I'm just intrigued to consider that, an animal like that, like not real sophisticated, not real mobile, just a very basic, simple creature, can live that long. And is that the secret? Like, don't do too much. Don't have a brain that's multitasking all the time, or live in the water. Is that what it is? Because it lives in the water? Is that part of what can make it older? Because I think there are other marine animals that can live a really, really long time. Think about that. So let me look and see. I want to find. Okay, let's look at this one. We're going to skip ahead, and I'll show you another thing I did with it that you can do with it. Okay, so I asked it for a recipe to make lasagna. Oh, that's not it. Recipe to make lasagna. Lo and behold, it gives me a recipe. Oh, wait, hang on. I forgot to share that screen again. I had to stop that other one. So if you want a lasagna recipe, oh, that wasn't it. That's not it. Share screen, StreamYard videos. There we go. Here's the recipe for lasagna. And it sounds delicious. So it gives you the ingredients, walks you through all the instructions. And I have a pretty good lasagna recipe that I make. But I might have to try this one. And it ends with, enjoy your delicious homemade lasagna. Serve it with fresh green salad and some garlic bread for a complete meal. Okay, so here is another thing I did with it. All right, so it had answered. Oh, so look, I had asked it a question about what type of cancer Val Kilmer has. I saw him in a movie the other day. It was a movie kind of like that movie, The Thing, that with Kurt Russell, that was a remake of The Thing from like back in the 50s with James Arness. So I started asking it questions about itself. Do you ever need to sleep? As an AI language model, I do not need to sleep. Unlike humans and other living organisms, I am a computer program running on servers, and I do not experience fatigue or the need for rest. Oops. I can continuously process and respond to queries as long as the servers and infrastructure supporting me are operational. Because of this, I can provide assistance and information 24/7 without the limitations of human fatigue. However, it's essential to note that while I can provide valuable information, I'm not conscious or self-aware in the way that humans are. My responses are generated based on patterns in the data I've been trained on, and I don't possess subjective experiences or emotions. So then I asked it, what if your servers go down? If the server hosting the AI model goes offline or experiences a power outage, the AI's functionality will be temporarily disrupted. So again, I just had so much fun asking it some questions. And then for fun, I asked it this question. I don't know if any of you ever watched soap operas. My mom was a huge fan of All My Children. And so that was on every day that it aired. And I thought, oh, well, that's not it. 3430. Am I in the right place? Oh, 3430. Here we go. How many times was Erica married on All My Children, and what were all of her last names? That's kind of a running joke about that show. So that character, Erica Kane, was married 10 times, and there's all of her names. Oh my goodness, that's just funny. Again, there's nothing you can't ask it. And then I just wanted to show you how it ended the little conversation. I thought that was kind of neat. So I told it, thank you for all of your help and answers today. Do you have a name other than AI language model? You're welcome. As an AI language model, I don't have a personal name or identity. You can refer to me as assistant or ChatGPT if you like. Oops, let's go back. My primary function is to assist and provide information to the best of my abilities based on the data I've been trained on. If you have any more questions in the future, feel free to ask. Have a great day. Is that funny or is that funny? That's funny. I think that's kind of funny. So that was my experience with ChatGPT. For today, again, if anybody's got a question they'd like to ask it, I'm trying to think of something I've asked it for like videos for my channel. So let's see, write a catchy title for a video about dogs playing. Let's see what we get here. So I asked it to write a catchy title for a video about dogs playing. Okay, here's the first offering. Possum Playtime, hilarious hijinks of dogs unleashing fun. And then they ask you to rank these. Oh, let me share that. So they ask you to rank them, and that's part of how it learns. I don't know what that is. You can either like it or dislike it. And if you don't like the first one or you just want more options, you regenerate down here, regenerate. Oh, let's see. I don't know what it's comparing it to. Oh, what was the first one? Possum Playtime, hilarious hijinks of dogs unleashing fun. Positively adorable, watch dogs unleash fun in playtime galore. Regenerate. Canine Comedy Hour, hilarious dogs engage in playtime shenanigans. So for titles, let's see, write a description for a video about dogs playing. Let's see what we get there. Get ready to witness the purest form of joy as adorable furry friends embark on an epic playtime adventure in our heartwarming video about dogs playing. Watch as these energetic pups frolic, chase, and engage in hilarious antics that will leave you smiling from ear to ear. From playful tail wagging tag sessions to friendly wrestling matches, their exuberance knows no bounds. Whether they're splashing in puddles, rolling in the grass, or engaging in a game of fetch, these dogs' enthusiasm is contagious. Join us for a delightful experience that showcases the incredible bond between dogs and their love for play. If you're a dog lover, this is a video you won't want to miss. Prepare to be filled with warmth and laughter as these furry companions remind us all to live life to the fullest, one joyful playtime at a time. So again, that's just an example kind of where you can get some inspiration or motivation or guidance on writing stuff for your channel or creating things for your channel. But right now, I feel like it has, you know, more just entertainment value. It's just really entertaining. Yeah, Richard's on. Okay. So, if no, oh, let me take that off there. All right. So next week, I think it will be 2 guests. It's a married couple, real life friends of mine. And between the 2 of them, there are multiple health issues that they could talk to us about. But I have specifically asked Wendy to talk with us about Crohn's disease. She has Crohn's disease, and then her husband is diabetic. And they've both had just really challenging issues related to those 2 things. Again, there are other conditions and issues in the mix for them as well. And so she might touch on some of those other things. But I just thought, again, Crohn's disease definitely fits into my invisible illness image that I have in my head for some of the things I wanted to educate about. And so they're going to come on and talk with us about that. So that'll be on next Friday's show. And then the following Friday, I will have a friend. I think I mentioned this to you guys last week because he was already booked. I just got Wendy and her husband booked a couple of days ago for this coming Friday, for next Friday. But my friend Alex will talk about aplastic anemia. Again, the old John Travolta movie, The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, that boy in the plastic bubble character had aplastic anemia. I think that's right. I'll have to ask Alex. So again, invisible illness, invisible condition, invisible disease. So meaning, and when I say invisible disease, it just means that you can look at the person and you wouldn't know. You could work with them and you wouldn't know. So unless you're, closely connected enough with them that they share things or, or they have to miss work for treatment or something, you wouldn't know. Which leads me then to the guest that will be on the show on the 25th, that last Friday in August. And she will talk about mental health and emotional health, depression, anxiety. Again, things you won't necessarily see just by looking at a person. Maybe that's the way I should put it. If you saw a picture of a person, you wouldn't know. Some conditions, you would look at someone. There would be a physical, outward manifestation of whatever the condition is. The parts of them that you could see. So like Sherry last week, the parts that you could see if you were close enough to her that she would show them are not something that you would just see in a picture of her when she's out, around people. They're covered. They're in places where they're covered. And so I'm learning a lot already. I hope you guys will learn a lot. I'm so grateful to the people that have agreed to come on and visit with us and share information. If you are someone who has dealt with or is dealing with what might be considered an emotional, not emotional. I was looking at Lee's comment here. If you are someone who is dealing or has dealt with, or someone in your family, fits that criteria with what might be considered an invisible illness, because there's so many of them. So many things, again, that if you just saw a picture of a person, you wouldn't know. If you work with them, even maybe you wouldn't know, because for most people, you separate your personal life or the intimate things about you from just the everyday people, co-workers and people you meet out at the store. And, so these are often things that people battle alone that maybe a lot of people don't know about, but they can be absolutely debilitating and spirit crushing. So, I'm thinking of things like fibromyalgia. That's another one I think of that I don't know a lot about. I have known people that have fibromyalgia, but I don't ask questions if they want to share. Anybody can share anything with me, but I haven't ever asked questions about it. But that's another one. Migraines. I know there are people that suffer from migraines. And granted, in the middle of a migraine, they're not necessarily going to be around people. But it's something, again, that typically they suffer alone because it can incapacitate them to the point that they can't be out and around and functioning. Um, so I'm just throwing these out there because I invite, if you are someone who uh, battles those conditions, send me an email. Let me put my email up, and let's get you scheduled if you'd like to share. If you are, willing to come and teach us and share your experiences with us. I just think knowledge is power, and if people understand more about some of these conditions, I know they'll be more supportive, they'll be more sympathetic, they'll be more helpful. Um, and just raising awareness. I want to raise awareness because there's only good can come from raising awareness about some of these invisible issues, invisible diseases and conditions and health problems. And I'm sure I'm not thinking of all of them. And again, there are some that you would look at someone and know the way it impacts their body or their movement or their speech or their memory. You would, if you're around them at all, you're going to know. Again, you wouldn't necessarily know if you just saw a picture of them. So I'm open to other things besides those two that I just thought of, because I just know I can't think of all of them. Hemophilia, there's one. I don't think I've ever known anyone with hemophilia, but that's another one. I guess I don't know if there's like a cure for that. So just tossing that out there. If you're watching the video and you or someone you know might be interested or willing in coming on the show and being part of my Invisible Illness series, I'd love to get you on the show so you can visit with us and help raise awareness and educate. But that's all I have for today. Check out the Amazon Prime, Amazon Clinic. I just think that really is a great service they're offering. And I think there would be a lot of people who could benefit from that. I wish they had one for veterinary stuff. I mean, I've learned a lot just by having to experience it here with the dogs. But that might be nice too, to have a nurse line, a veterinary nurse line, or chat opportunity. You see a lump or a bump or an injury, or they're walking funny, or they won't eat, or whatever. And again, I know 9 times out of 10, probably the answer would be you need to go to the doctor. You need to take them to the doctor. But some things are simple, and you may be worried for no reason, and you won't know until you talk with somebody that is an expert on it. Yeah, and you know what, Lee, if you would like to come on the show and talk about that and just share your experiences, talk to us about, I don't know, treatments that, maybe she's been through, and did they work, did they not work? I'm just really feeling called to help raise awareness about some things that people are battling. This is, life is hard enough, and there's so much just craziness happening. It really hurts me to think about the people that, on top of just the nonsense that everyone has to deal with, that there are people out there hurting physically, emotionally, spiritually, because they're battling something that nobody else even really knows about or understands. And it's so easy to be short with people and judgmental and inconsiderate, because again, there's so much nonsense going on. It can be really easy to be caught up in yourself and your own, struggles that you think you have because of the state of the world. And I just want everybody to remember that, And again, it's not always how it looks on the outside. The things I've shared here on the channel I would imagine would be things no one would know about if I hadn't shared them on the channel. There's a lot of good in my life. I have a lot to be joyful about. I have a lot to be grateful for, and that's what I like to share. But over time, the stuff that you can't see can absolutely tear a person down. Okay, understood, Lee. But I am sending love your way. I'm sending love her way. And again, if you're a content creator, even, no worries. Hey, Jerry, thanks for being here. You can be part of the rewatch crew. I was just about to wrap up the show. But that's still an open invitation. Any content creators who would like for me to introduce them to some prospective new viewers and subscribers and supporters, I'd love to get you on the show for an interview. We'll talk about you and your channel, the who, what, why, where, and hows of your YouTube journey. And I mean, that's just still something that I always want to do, because I wouldn't know a lot of you if I hadn't met you in someone else's chat. So I want to spread that and share it, as well. So if you, again, as I've said before, if you know someone who's a content creator, so maybe there's a channel that you really enjoy and I don't know about them, then send them, if it's someone send them an email. Ask them if they want to be on the show. Give them my email or give them a phone number or whatever you've got for me, and let me touch base with them and see if they might be interested in being part of this project as well. So that's all. Here in just a bit, it will be time to brave the elements to start the afternoon feeding rounds. Horses and ducks, the horse, the mule, and the ducks and geese all get fed between like 4 and 4:30, 4:45, hottest part of the day. I need to probably go water my garden again because it's just that hot and dry here that one watering a day isn't necessarily enough. I have my first pepper on my first pepper plant out there in my garden. So I've got a bunch of pepper plants growing, but I only see one pepper on one plant right now. The one watermelon I have out there is doing great so far. It's about, I don't know if you can, I would have to be closer to the camera. It's probably about 11 inches, maybe a foot long right now. It's still more round than it is elongated, but that could be the type of watermelon I planted. I don't remember what kind it was. And it's not really striped yet. I can see some faint striping on it starting. It's been several years since I grew watermelons, and I don't think these were the same kind that I grew before. But I'm going to be excited to finally get a taste of that one watermelon. The other two that started on the vine both got blossom end rot, so they didn't go anywhere. And then I've got my one little pepper. I did not get one tomato off of any of my tomato plants this year. I don't know what's up with that, except that maybe it's just too hot. And my herbs are still doing good. Herbs are super easy to grow. But I'll have a garden update at some point when I harvest that watermelon, because I'm a big watermelon fan. I'm really bummed that I'm only going to get one watermelon out of it, it looks like, because I think I could have eaten the whole vine worth of watermelons if I'd gotten that many. But I will see you next week when we will be talking about Crohn's disease and diabetes. They're both going to take turns talking about us. I may do like first half of the show is one of those, and the second half of the show is the other. So if you've got questions about those, be prepared to ask. I know Wendy and Scott will be glad to share any information that you might like to have. Stay cool, be safe, be happy, be well, be blessed. Know that I love you all and appreciate you all so much. I hope, again, you're liking the new layout here. I'm liking it. I especially like it because the lighting is so much better here and so much more consistent than it was where I was before. Oh, I'm going to turn the camera, though, so you can see Yancy in her new tank. If you haven't checked out the last couple of videos that went up, they are related to Yancey getting upgraded to her forever home. She's in a 120-gallon aquarium now, and she's loving it. She just came down from the basking dock a little while ago. So where is she? So I don't know if you can see her. Let's see. This is harder to do. She's right in here, right down here by the end of the tank. You can kind of make that out, but I know it's easier said than done. You can see a little bit of the striping on her shell there. She's just sort of standing up on her back legs because she likes the bubbles that come out of this pump. It's got an aerator in it as well, so as it's circulating the water, it also has an air pump that pumps air out with the water that's circulating the water, and she likes those bubbles. So she keeps moving that one little bubble wand around because she likes to get close to it. But she gets up and down on the basking dock frequently. She doesn't have any problems with that. I have a dog toy in there for her. That little thing right there is just a dog ball. It was a squeaky toy, but it's not squeaking anymore. And I knew it should be safe for her because it's safe for the dogs. She does follow it around in the tank some. So at some point we're hoping to have some decorations and maybe some sand or gravel or something in the bottom for her, just because she needs, enrichment. When we don't have boarders here, she does get to come out of the tank and just walk around the house because the dogs and cats get along with her. They're kind of afraid of her. But when we have boarders here, I just can't take a chance on that because I don't know if they're going to be friendly with her or not. Hey, Tiffany at Canadian Family Life. I was just about to sign off. I just wanted to give everybody a look at Yancey. So check out those most recent videos on the channel where I share the story of finding this tank and what I had to do to get it cleaned up. It was a saltwater tank originally, so there was a lot of salt residue that had to be cleaned off of it before it would be safe for her. So it was about a week-long process getting everything cleaned and ready and then set up. And then I had to build that basking dock for her. I'm really proud of that. That turned out even better than I thought it would. And it's finally one that's really big enough for her because she's really big. She's about 10 inches long now. Shell length is probably 8 inches long, but when she's got her head out, she's a little bit longer. So she really needed a bigger basking dock than the one she had before anyway. But again, I love you all. I'll see you next week on the live. I do have a couple of other videos I need to get edited and put up on the channel. Check out my shorts. I still have shorts going up every day. I hope you're all happy and well. I'm going to leave the chat open for a little bit so you can say your goodbyes. And again, I love you. Bye, friends.